Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Charles Morris, and this is one of those important videos that I want to get out here today because according to a Ukrainian Parliament member, this is day 9 of Russia's war with Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin has ordered his troops to make a bigger threats. The Russian has taken control of one of the largest European the largest nuclear site in Europe. Now, according to a Ukrainian Parliament official, we are now officially in World War III. This is one of the videos that I wanted to make because this is absolutely a very serious threat. Now, I highly encourage people to be watching this video because what I'm saying in here is going to be pretty important. If the Russians are very successful in taking and capturing all of Ukraine and that stuff, then there could be more threats coming from Russia, that there could be like some kind of nuclear missile that would wipe out the whole entire world and that stuff. And Vladimir Putin, as you know, is now another Hitler. And Vladimir Putin has a really big high price to pay for his war crime actions. And Vladimir Putin, I have to say, could end up being executed. Because not only is he threatening all of Ukraine, but he could also threaten NATO officials and, blow up the whole entire world, commanding his Russian armies to do so with the nuclear sites that the Russian army has taken control of. And if Russia wasn't successful, then he could be asking China or North Korea to actually step in and fulfill his world domination dream, as sickening as it is to say that. Back in history, Hitler had that thirst for power, and he wanted to be the most powerful man in Germany. And people pretty much became very, very sick of Hitler. The same thing is going to go for Putin. The man wants so much power. He is another Hitler. And more severe sanctions from the US are going to be coming to Russia. And this is going to be punishing Russia severely. And I should also mention that that hacker group that you don't even hear about much anymore, Anonymous. That hacker group is now on a cyber attack war with Russia. Now, this could actually help with Russia, just quit with meddling with the US elections and that stuff. Now, if this were, China and Europe doing that, then I imagine that they would be on cyber attack wars with these countries as well. But, yeah. So, today it's been official that we are now in a World War III with Russia. And this is not good for the US. Totally, because back when from what I learned in history class, the US wanted to remain like a neutral country, and they did not want to go to war with any country. The US didn't want to be involved in wars and that stuff. Pretty much, it could come down to where the US would actually have to stand up to Russia with a strong military, which Joe Biden would never send a military to Russia or go to war with Russia, because that's not what the president really wants. Even even the secretary says that that's not what the president wants to do. Joe Biden doesn't want to send troops down to attack Russian troops. But, in the event of an emergency where you've got like one country who wants to blow up like the entire world by order of a Hitler-like Russian president who is that bloodthirsty person who wants to destroy everyone. This is a very, very serious threat. The whole world is not liking what Vladimir Putin is doing. This is going to be one of those this is going to involve the whole entire world with these the whole entire world would have to go to war with Russia. Certainly, there is lots of officials and a lot of countries who want to punish Putin for his war actions. They were uncalled for. They were pretty much out of nowhere. And Vladimir Putin had no reason to go to war with Ukraine. It was just out in the open. And nobody even was warned about this up until a few days of Russian troops attacking Ukraine. And that's what got the world's attention after this gone on for a few days. It's day 9 of the Russian war on Ukraine. And the Ukrainians are doing everything they can to defend themselves. In my last video, I've said that they have stalled a bunch of Russian vehicles who were 25 kilometers from Kyiv. and maybe it was Gorentia, or Gorentia. It could be Kjiv. It could have been one of them that I mentioned in the last video that I've uploaded. You can check out the video that I've uploaded since this one. It was the last video where I've uploaded Ukraine Strikes Back Part 2. You can check that one out. And I said the Ukrainians have stalled Russian tanks from getting into the capital. And the Ukrainian army is putting up a fight. There's more weapons that are shipped to the Ukrainians to fight this war with Russia, because the Ukraine people need like upgraded defenses so that they can actually push the Russian troops out of Ukraine and be able to defend their own country. And even if Ukraine was successful in, defeating the Russian army and that stuff, you would still have to deal with Vladimir Putin. Because even though Ukraine, if they won against the Russians and that stuff, there would still be like major punishment that Vladimir Putin would have to face for his war crimes on Ukraine. And Vladimir Putin could end up being executed for his war crimes. And if Vladimir Putin was a dead man, we wouldn't have to worry about any more threats to the world, at least for a long time. Now, I know that's very, offensive to say, but the picture that I paint on Vladimir Putin is he's pretty much become the most evil person in Russia, just like Hitler. And who knows, the guy might be, totally ill from and suffering something. Maybe he's just sick, and maybe that's what is having him, act like that. But we can't even, we can't pretend like this is like some non-world issue, because it actually is. As I've said, the one of a Ukrainian Parliament member has said that we have now entered World War III. And what would happen after Russia took over all of Ukraine? I'm sure Vladimir Putin would be commanding his Russian army to be attacking NATO officials, and he would be totally, you know, beyond like a conquest of, you know, punishing those severely who interfered with the Russian Ukraine invasion. And this just paints Vladimir Putin in a very, very bad way. The whole world would view Vladimir Putin as a destructive Hitler on a thirst for power, and have this belief where any country that interferes with what a powerful man Vladimir Putin is becoming, for all those people who are interfering with his business and that stuff, he's simply getting the idea that these kind of countries just don't have the right to exist. This man is a very, very big threat to the whole entire world, not just Ukraine, but also for the whole entire world. And this could end up happening where other countries would possibly go and aid the Ukraine people with their own military and, help with defeating the Russian army and giving Vladimir Putin what he rightly deserves: severe punishment and possibly execution for his war crimes. Maybe not that, but even I'll probably have to end up, now I don't know if they could do this in other countries, like take somebody from, like somebody committing like a foreign crime of war and, taking them into U.S. custody, and, transporting them and putting them into a U.S. prison. I'm not sure if that's even possible. But if there's only one country, in my opinion, that would probably, take something like this very, very seriously, where you have where you charge anybody for a war crime, it'd probably be the United States. Now, so say the U.S. want to charge President Trump for, his war crimes on Iran and, totally charging him for whatever crimes he committed. Oh yeah, holding a trial to impeach him for, asking the Ukraine president to dig up dirt on Joe Biden. That was his first impeachment trial. His second one was it was mainly because of January 6th back in 2021. It's been 2 years, or no, excuse me, 1 year since the attack on the U.S. Capitol. And Trump has to answer for his crime for that. And, you know, when people when these, like, foreign leaders commit stupid crime like this, they have to answer for this and that stuff. They just cannot be let off the hook. Because that is just not how law and order works here. That's not how. When people are feeling threatened by, war or whatever and that stuff, they don't even. They don't just, ignore the problem and say, okay, they want to blow us up. They can blow us up. They have a right to. No, that's not how. That's not how it really works. If Vladimir Putin is becoming the most evil man that Hitler has been, there had been more severe threats to Ukraine. And the next thing that Vladimir Putin would want to pick as a target would be key cities. That would be, after the Russian army's done with the Ukraine, Vladimir Putin could command his Russian army to attack key cities in, a lot of other countries. So, say, for example, the U.S. has given Russia severe sanctions and that stuff. He could order his Russian troops to fly over the United States and, start bombing, dropping bombs on Washington, D.C. And, possibly drop bombs on Washington, where the White House is. But, they could just wait to leave U.S. as the last target. Vladimir Putin would probably focus on other key other key cities and other states in the national like on the one side of the world, and focus on blowing up key cities in Europe, Australia, and possibly Italy. France, I don't know about. Um, be on a conquest of, just going and blowing people up for absolutely no reason. It's totally sick. Vladimir Putin is a sick man. Now, I don't know about the fact that he's got, some kind of illness as to why he's doing this, or just because he possibly believes that no country or no state like Ukraine should exist. And because we're now in a World War III, according to a U.S. Parliament member, everybody is pretty much going to have to, go on a war against Vladimir Putin and Russia. I'm sure as attacks on Ukraine continue to advance, the more that the people in his country are like, why are you doing this to us? Maybe the Russian people would come to a realization that why is why is the Russian president doing this? Why is he making us all suffer? That's a realization that I would hope that people would come to in Russia. Like, why are you having the gas prices in Russia being raw? Why are you letting us suffer while you suffer? It's not fair. You think the Russian people would think that it's absolutely fair that while Putin suffers, that they suffer with him? With all these Russian sanctions that are coming from the US? Absolutely not. And I think a lot of people in Russia would want to be doing something about their president because he's become a pure evil. And the warpath on attacking and threatening Ukraine has caused other countries to, like the US, to start with putting sanctions on Russia because of what Vladimir Putin is doing. And the people be like, hey, Mr. President, we can't handle with these rising gas prices. And, we can't handle the fact that this hacker group called Anonymous has blocked us from, websites. And the reason why we can't even participate in, ski events and that stuff is because of what you're doing and that stuff. You need to step down and you need to face the consequence because this isn't right. Killing people because of no particular reason or have any kind of reason behind what you're doing. You call this war absolutely appropriate. And the more and more that you go on to war with Ukraine, being Vladimir Putin, if he goes, the more and more that you keep all this up, and you keep on attacking Ukraine, and the more and more that you make us suffer because of your actions on declaring war on the whole entire world and that stuff is going to make we have to suffer with you and that stuff. You could probably bet that the Russian people would, want to do something about Putin. Because, let me just tell you what my opinion would be on this. The Russian people would be getting so fired up and wanting President Putin to be impeached because they can't handle this stinking gas prices rising, or because they can't even, begin to use the internet again because they're being hacked by Anonymous. Yeah. Vladimir Putin's prices that he's going to pay are going to be so severe that he will not be able to undo everything that he's done. He will have to answer for to the whole entire world why he took the actions he took. A Ukraine official said that if Russia controls all of Ukraine, the president or the mayor of Ukraine said that it would be the end of the world. I just hope that it just never comes to the end of the world. I said that the Ukrainian Parliament member has simply said that we are now entering World War III. I hope that somewhere in World War III that there won't be like some kind of severe nuclear missile threat that would totally, you know, bomb or have like some kind of event where the Russians launch like some kind of nuclear missile that would, wipe out the whole entire world by order of Vladimir Putin. The Russian army should be destroyed. Vladimir Putin should be executed, or at least spending his whole life in prison, and be taken into U.S. custody for war crimes on foreign countries. And something should be done about this man. Something should be done. How can you actually afford to have, like, the life of every single person in the world, even, like, newborn babies, all of a sudden just get blown up by Russia? And here you are, and you just can't live the rest of your future. Where? Why? Why does this have to stand? Why does this have to happen?